G'day guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing my tips for round 2 of the season. It feels weird that some teams play 2 games and we're up to round 2. But yeah, I won't go into an opening round rant, as I'm sure we all have a similar thought bubble around that. I thought I did okay, and I mean I did do okay, sitting 28th or equal 12th. However, the Blues have screwed me over with the margin in the first game, so I was significantly off that. So, yeah, you win some, you lose more, as the old saying goes. Zachy Boy's up the top of the table, though, clear leader 2, with 10 in total. I'm sitting at 7 with a bit of work to do, but look, wasn't too bad of a round. I went the upset for... Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Before we get stuck into round 2, let's just deep dive back into round 1. So everyone would have tipped Carlton, so that one was... Everyone basically would have got 8 if they went all the favourites. So yeah, Geelong, Hawthorn in there, Brisbane. I thought North Melbourne, I was thinking the Dogs would... They found a way in Tassie to win. I thought they might be a chance to replicate similar. I thought North, with all of the Dogs' superstars out, thought it was their best chance early in the season as well. Didn't quite pan out as expected, so they just, unfortunately, they just don't know how to win at the moment. But the rest, all looking pretty good, so yeah. I mean, there were some games that were potential 50-50s. I was tempted to tip the Dockers, considering their great record against us at home at times. But I had to go to the Cats, had to back them in, first game in, so yeah. That's the round that was, but now we're going to get stuck into the round 2 side of things. Tips for round 2. Alright, Thursday night we have Carlton in a massive game. They've got the Hawks. Curnow, a decent chance to come back into the side. Hawks 2-0, Carlton 0-1. I like what the Hawks are doing. I think they'll go to 3-0. I think they'll probably finish top 2, to be completely fair, before even thinking before the season started. What do I think? Hawthorn, what are my thoughts? I'm going to go the Hawks by 22 points. Both their wins have been around the 4-goal mark. They did absolutely abolish the Blues last year. It's a massive game for Carlton. I'm also thinking it's not going to blow out, because Carlton need a severe response after their poor outing last week. I feel like they've beaten the Hawks very much of late, and the Hawks are looking like a top 4 side with the footy that they're playing. Then we go to Friday night, and we've got the Western Bulldogs, and they are hosting the Pies. Again, it's another big clash. Not much love for the Dogs there, and I tend to agree. I think, Collingwood at the MCG, still very tough to beat. 1-1, the Dogs are 1-0. But yeah, I think the Pies, with Houston back in the side, definitely helps out a fair bit. They play the MCG really well. The Doggies don't play there all that often, and I think, the Pies' run and gun game will be too strong. Personnel perspective, I think they've got the Doggies covered there, but the Dogs haven't necessarily needed their best players on the park to get the result, as we've seen late in the pre-season, as well as their first game last week against the Roos. Was close, but no cigar for North. Saturday, Super Saturday, we get stuck in with Essendon and Adelaide. This one will be at the MCG. Bit of a spicy clash, this one. It was quite close last time they played. The Bombers were well on top, and then the Crows bounced back. This one was at Marvel. Crows have played some good footy over the last couple of years. They had their challenges with injury and continuity in their midfield. It's going to be a tough game to pick. I like what Adelaide are doing, and I reckon they'll be able to get the chocolates over the Bombers at the MCG. Going to be a pretty close one. Banana peel game for either side, I think, but I'm feeling more in tune with what Adelaide are getting up to. Potentially more weapons across the board, even though it is away. I think they'll be able to get the chocolates at the MCG. Over to Adelaide Oval. Oh, geez, speaking of banana peel games, Port had a disastrous loss at the MCG, speaking of which, and they went down to the Pies, 91 points, biggest loss for Ken Hinkley in his coaching tenure. And they are facing the Tigers, who will be full head of steam with one of the biggest upsets I think we've all ever seen. maybe in the modern era, getting the job done against Carlton. 13 points in the end. Yeah, Port had a pretty big loss in the finals against the Cats. They responded really well next week. Ken's really good at getting the emotions stirring. I think they'll get the job done and get the job done reasonably well, notwithstanding Richmond's challenges. And we know Richmond have had some pretty great victories over in Adelaide as well in the past when they've had Lynch, Martin, Riewoldt and Cochin and these guys out. I feel like they had everyone out. Everyone was out except for Lynch, and Lynch won in the game, kicked 5 or 6 and single-handedly got him over the line. Don't think that'll happen this time. Anything's possible though. They don't have the most strong available backline right at the moment. We then finish off the evening with St Kilda and Geelong. This one will be at Marvel Stadium. Yeah, I mean, St Kilda need a bit more love than just what they've got there. And I guess considering what they have delivered so far, it's fair enough. They're young. We keep hearing that they're young. That's about all we hear about the Saints. Cats, plenty of experience. Got the job done over the Dockers. I think it was 13 goals in the end. A really convincing win. Doesn't mean anything going into this game because I reckon the Saints have touched us up the last 2 or 3 times at Marvel. So it shapes as a real difficult game. It's hard to tip against Geelong with the current form on they've got going at the moment, albeit it was at GMHBA Stadium. I've just kind of given the Cats a backhander there. Their form away from home last year was better than it actually was at home, which was very rare considering we made top 4. But I think Geelong get the job done. The only way the Saints can win if our midfield just goes to sleep after half time like it did last year. But they got us last year, they got us the year before at Marvel, and it was very close at the category. So they do somehow match up well against us despite having a no-namer list really. Then we go over to the Sunday games. We've got Brisbane opening the account against the West Coast Eagles at the Gabba. Well, yeah, the Eagles were more than disappointing against the Suns, and the Lions a 4-point win in the grand final rematch. So they were good enough to get the job done there. It's pretty academic. I think, Brisbane could be 120 points if they play their cards right. Could be even uglier. Can't speak. So that's my prediction there. Reigning premiers against the side that's just severely struggling, unfortunately. We then move to Marvel Stadium, the middle game of the Sunday, and we've got North Melbourne hosting Melbourne. I really can't remember the last time North Melbourne defeated Melbourne. They got pretty close last year though. It was about 3 points in it, I think, and North had a crazy comeback on the go and just wasn't able to find a way to win. I'm happy to go with the D's here. They were very impressive against the Giants, and they just got went down to the Giants. I think it was a couple of points in it, 3 or 4 points. But they were really good. Outside of that, just weren't able to literally a kick-in goal in the wet in the last couple of minutes to unfortunately sink the D's. Final game of the round, and this one is very tough. It's going to split a few, no doubt about that. Fremantle, very disappointing against the Cats, as we mentioned, 13-goal loss to those guys and a 4-point loss to the Swans. Swans sitting at 0-2. I don't think they want to be 0-3, and the Dockers probably don't want to be 0-2 either. For two sides that pipped to potentially be in top 4, top 6, all going to plan. Now, the Dockers got the job done last year. It was a 1 point in it at the SCG, but Sydney's record at Optus Stadium in general, and especially against Fremantle, is really positive. If Tommy McCartan plays down back where it's his only real dominant position, moving him as a forward was never ever going to work. Usually it's the other way around that it works, but forward going back. But I guess you do have to try something. But anyway, I'm going to go to the Swans. They've been pretty solid. They've probably played the 2 best teams right at the very start of the year. Dockers will probably be top 6, top 8. They'll be trying there. Even without Gordon, I just think it'll be getting pretty desperate times, and they'll probably go above and beyond to just make sure that they get the 4 points here. If the Dockers go 0-2, not the end of the world, not great either, but 0-3 for Sydney would be pretty scary scenes, as we've seen previously. Sides that have been 0-3, the last 2 premiers, the premiers in 2022 and 2023 went 0-3 and ultimately missed the finals. having said that, Sydney are the exception. They were 0-6 and still somehow made the 8, but won an elimination final. I think they were out shortly after that. Courtesy to the Cats. Alright, that's all from me, folks. We've gone Hawthorn by 22 points. Collingwood, Adelaide, Port Adelaide. Let's get back on the winners list. Geelong, Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, to ultimately find a way to get a win. Alright, there are my picks for round 2. So there you go, there you have it. Guys, chuck in the comments who you're picking this week, and looking forward to hearing what you reckon there. Give the video a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see who I'm picking each and every week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the next video.